Hey, what's up, everybody? You know who it is. It's your boy Algebra coming to you live and direct from the studio, aka my living room. Today we got a special guest with us in the background. You can hear my homeboy breathing a little bit. He may wake up halfway through the video, and if so, then you'll hear a little bit of crying. But this is your boy Algebra featuring Baby Av, aka a whole lot of different things, but I'm not gonna share them with you because yeah, since we're here, might as well go ahead and do these story problems, talking about substitution for all of them. But that means because we're talking about substitution, you know that it's a system of equations. That means there have to be two variables and two equations each. So now instead of just looking for keywords like you did earlier this week, you need to understand that you're setting up two situations at the same time. The stories may not be very difficult, but there are two of them in every situation. Let's go ahead and do the first one. The sum of two numbers is 24. The first number is 11 more than 3 times a second, and I want to know what the numbers are. So let's deal with each sentence separately, and that's the first thing I need you to understand. Every time that I break up the story, I am telling you that you should break up your thought process. This yellow highlighted space here, the sum of two numbers is 24. That is a complete clause. That is a complete mathematical statement. You are done once you set that up. The sum of two numbers is 20. X plus Y equals 24. So then somebody wants to know, well, how did you know it was plus? Well, the word sum automatically means addition. That was your key word. And you had the word is, which is going to be your equal sign. Since you don't know those numbers, you just make them up. You call them different variables. Let us continue. The second one says the first number is, and that's huge right there. Not only did I tell you which number to refer to, but I also told you the word is. That is again your equal side. X equals. If we continue on in the problem, 11 more than. That means 11 plus. 3 times the second. What was the second number? You don't know what it is still. All you know is that we're talking about the variable y. So at this point, what you should recognize that you have two different pieces that can work together. Two equations, two variables, but one story. Can you solve this? You better be able to solve this. It says I have a variable by itself. And since I have a variable by itself, I can take it out. This is the substitution I want to complete. The x is coming out. The 11 plus 3y is going in. 11 plus 3y plus y equals 24. As I continue, notice I have y's on both sides. Or excuse me, not on both sides, but on the same side of the equal sign, which means they need to be combined together. Combining like terms is what we call that. Subtract your 11 from both sides. And y is 13 over 4. So you got a fraction. So why is that a problem? I'm not terribly concerned with the fact that you have a fraction in this particular situation. We should still be able to figure out the y variable. Take your answer and plug it back in. Here we go. X equals 11 plus 3 times 13 over 4. Remember, when we do our substitutions, you always want to use parentheses to plug something in. Earlier, I kind of skipped that step, and I shouldn't have. There should have been a parentheses around there. In this step, I have to have the parentheses around the 13 over 4 to make sure I remember it's combined together. That is one piece of the puzzle. Do your multiplication, get a common denominator, combine them, and be done with this problem. Your final answer is that x is 83 over 4. So it would be really nice if all the problems were so straightforward as this. If I could just deal with two pretty straightforward stories and put them together to get a common x and common y. Not so much. It's never going to be that easy. Well, I shouldn't say never, but 5 times out of 6, it's not. Just like this one. Story says an airplane flies 400 miles per hour with the wind. It only goes 240 the opposite way. How hard is the wind blowing? So what we need to think about in this particular situation is the idea of being helped versus being hurt. If the wind is helping you, you're going 400 miles an hour. If the wind is hurting you, that means you're only going 240. Do you have to change your speed though? No, you don't. So the idea is this. If you take your speed plus the wind, you should get one value. And if you take your speed and say you're going against the wind or subtracting the wind away from it, you get a different value. I'm going to turn these into variables now. X plus W equals 400 and X minus W equals 240. Substitution says choose any variable and try to get it by itself. I'm going to choose the bottom one. A lot of people would like to know, why would you choose the bottom one? Well, I see that if I get the X by itself, it turns into all positives. I saw it right away. It was the only time that I had a negative in this entire problem. And you get rid of negatives with positives. So now I have an expression, an equation that I can plug in right here. Substitution says 240 plus W plus W equals 400. Combine your like terms. Subtract some stuff away. Divide. The wind is blowing 80 miles an hour. That's a big wind gust. We're talking about like hurricane type winds in this situation. So if you're flying an airplane in that, that's a bad decision. Let's just be clear. So at this point, what I want to do is go ahead and pause my video, truncate it, that means chop it off, and start a second video for the remainder of the story problems in this section of the notes. I know I'm not going to be able to finish it in the next 7 minutes, so let's just go ahead and play it on the safe side. Hopefully you're copying all this stuff down into your notebook. If not, you need to make sure that you have access to being able to replicate all these things, because you are responsible for understanding and being able to do this all on your own when I get back on Monday. See you in a minute. Peace.